So it is like just shortly after 1 a.m. on what is now Thursday, January 22nd, 2025. I'm trying to sleep. I've been lying on my bed for a few hours now trying to sleep, and I can't because there's a party going on directly below me in Unit 76. A lot of slamming and banging and slamming and banging and some shouting and slamming and banging. And this has been going on all the way up through, I don't know, 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. And while I've been lying on my bed trying to sleep, I've been getting electronically assaulted with an electronic assault weapon that the user of that weapon, a psychopath, sex offender, career criminal, and professional harasser named Jasmine Irizarry, who has been acting on behalf of the Greenville Group in an activistic capacity towards other tenants for 11 years, has bragged that she is getting paid a lot of money to utilize on other tenants in a harassment capacity. Ms. Irizarry has been using some type of directed energy device, which her friend Christopher Thomas told me I need to call a directed energy weapon. He said it's not a directed energy device, it's a directed energy weapon, and you need to call it a weapon because apparently the BLM activists who are using this weapon have a lot of pride in the fact that it is a weapon and that I should refer to what is being used to assault me as a weapon. So according to the people who are actually admitting in writing to using this weapon, it is a directed energy weapon, and it continually is getting used to harass me when I lie on my bed, usually in the middle of the night, but sometimes during the day when I try to nap. And Irizarry, the Greenville Group's paid, sponsored career criminal, sex offender, and psychopath, has been using this device for at least 7 years now, starting approximately in 2017 or 2018. And Ms. Irizarry has made multiple comments in writing pertaining to details of her use of this device that match exactly what I had been experiencing on the receiving end of this device for years. The Greenville Group are Russian transnational criminals. They have been charged with criminal neglect in my unit by the City of Boston's Inspectional Services Department several times in criminal court cases and criminal charges that had been brought against the property owner, Alex Kritnik, property manager, Oleg Iliseyev, possibly Ms. Felicita Rodriguez, also a property manager, or so she claims, 3 times in the last 4 years. So 3 times in the last 4 years, the slumlord of this building, who has repeatedly refused to make any repairs in my unit for years, unless forced to do so by inspectional services, after inspections and citations and fines have been imposed, they refuse to make repairs, and therefore they've been charged criminally multiple times over the last 4 years, starting in 2021. The City of Boston had a criminal lawsuit against Alex Kritnik for excessive heat in this unit. The excessive heat continues because while I'm being assaulted with a directed energy weapon, courtesy of Jasmine Irizarry, the criminally insane psychopath and sex offender, the heat in this unit has gone all the way up to 88 degrees. Do you see this right here? 88.3 degrees. Holy cow. At the headboard right above my bed. I'm just going to turn the light on. But again, I just click this on, and that is how hot it is in here right now with the air conditioner blasting. Okay, and it's approximately 27 degrees in Boston right now. We're supposed to get snow in the morning. It's not warm outside, so this isn't because it's hot outside or anything like this. 86.9 at the headboard right by my bed. Okay, do you see those dots right there? See the dots? That's my headboard. That's why I have to put my head in order to sleep. This is absolute landlord-tenant harassment, deliberate landlord-tenant criminal harassment, because they have been notified in multiple emails, voicemails, and a court motion that I have filed over the last 10 days that there is excessive heat in this unit. I have sent them and their attorneys copies of complaints that I have filed for the excessive heat in this unit to the Inspectional Services Department. They are very well aware of the excessive heat in this unit that continues to make this unit unsafe for habitation, and they refuse to do anything about it. So again, what is the temperature over by my headboard? 84.9 now. It's funny how it goes down when I turn the light on. Well, it is once again 88.2 degrees at the headboard. Do you see that right there? 88.2 degrees with the air conditioner cranking and the window's open a few inches. I also, not using the stove. I have stuff on the stove, so the heat isn't coming from the stove or anything I've been cooking. I don't bake. My stove is filled with stuff, Tupperware containers and things like that. So this isn't due to, some kind of usage of the stove. There are also rodents running through here late at night. And last night there was a mouse rattling around on the top of this stove right here. I actually have a big plastic container that's drying on top of the stove. So there has been no heat from this stove for hours now. So it has nothing to do with the excessive temperature in this unit that continues to be close to 90 degrees. I'm aiming it at the window. It's pretty cold outside, so the window is probably colder than the rest of the unit. But with the air conditioner cranking, it is still well above the legal cutoff in this unit, 87.3 at the headboard. So time to leave another voicemail for the Greenville group. I left them a voicemail earlier this evening at approximately 8:30 p.m. Due to the excessive heat in this unit and a lot of shouting from the psycho directly below me in 76, as I was proceeding up the front stairwell after having run some errands and come back from the store, the psycho directly below in 76 opened his door and started shouting at me in a foreign language as I was proceeding past his door on my way up the front stairwell while minding my own business and not interacting with him in any way. 5 nights ago, I had to call the Boston Police Department because the psycho directly below in 76 was slamming and banging things, blasting music, and was having some sort of a party at 3 o'clock in the morning that continued all the way up until 5 a.m. on a Thursday night. So it was a Friday morning, actually. That piece of shit isn't normal. He doesn't seem to speak English, so maybe he thinks that partying at 5 in the morning on a weeknight when other people have to be up and have meetings in the morning is okay, but it's not. I don't think he speaks English at all. He was shouting at me in some foreign language, not just tonight, but a couple months ago, I had to report the fact also that he was shouting at me through that door as I was walking past his door on my way up the front stairwell. Once again, how does he know who's walking past his door? Unless he's peeping through the peephole or peeking through the crack. I don't know. This piece of shit seems to have a lot of knowledge of what I do in the privacy of my living space. He becomes violent and aggressive. And over the last couple of weeks, I've had to leave several voicemails for the Greenville group about violent slamming and pounding of some type of heavy blunt object that he slams against his ceiling right below my bed when I happen to lie on my bed and, pick my nose or scratch my eczema or do things that would be considered embarrassing or possibly personal. I don't remove my clothing because obviously there are surveillance devices being used in here, as several dozen people have informed me over the last 10 years. And as staffers and members of Greenville Group's leadership team have told me over the last few years are being used in this unit. And back in 2017, I found a surveillance device on the wall across from my toilet that was removed by maintenance, and I never saw it again. It was a tiny little perfectly round black shiny dot that looked like a paint splatter. Except that after looking at it for months and months and wondering what the hell is a black paint splatter doing in a bathroom where there is nothing painted black, I realized that there were no other splatters around it. It was perfectly round. Usually splatters are oval because of the force with which the splatter is created and then slams against the wall with. Usually splatters are oval or oblong. They're never perfectly round. And then I realized there was a tiny little lens on the inside of this round, shiny, tiny little black dot placed directly across from my toilet, and that it was most likely a surveillance device. It had a tiny little wire attached to it and was super glued to the wall to the point where I could not get it off. So then I started covering it, and then maintenance just scraped it off the wall sometime in 2018.